First time I listened to Worm Flesh, the first thing I think was brutal. And I mean that with the most positive thing I can say. I'm thinking of all the bands on the bill this year on the Metal Bash, and I think you guys might rip the hardest.
This is Graham, Mosh Play Live.
And I'm Veronica. Thank you for playing along.
Join the Cult of Gröm at moshplaylive.com.
So I'm very excited to meet you guys. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Compliment.
So I got to ask, get a history about Wurm Flesh, how you guys all came together. I mean, I know you have a couple albums out, but I'd like to hear the story from the band themselves.
Between the end of Siphon Soul, which was the band that I was doing at the time, I had a bunch of material I was sitting on and sort of hashing out. And I had a kid at the time, so I really wasn't doing music, at least not what I wanted to do, not the material I was writing. Eventually, I was in this other band where I was playing like this epic folk music, and I was just like, it was cool, but I was getting really tired of it. It just wasn't really my thing. And I hit up a mutual friend between Mitch is the drummer, and I was initially like, hey, dude, I need a drummer. What's up? He's like, I know this blast machine. He's like, Mitch Botter. And hence, that's where Wormflesh started, me and Mitch.
Yeah, it was just you two for a while.
For us, yeah.
That was like 12 years ago, right, Rob? Or something like that?
20... Mitch, when did we start jamming? Like late 2013, mid 2013?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We started actually playing shows as a two-piece, and I was looking at photos. I was like, this is kind of like lame. We need to start filling up the space. And we had a buddy of ours, Joel, in the band for a while, who's in Mitch's other band, Catholic. Joel's a shreddy guitar. We're just on different pages writing wise. But then we brought my old vocalist from Siphon Soul back, and I guess that's where we started, and now we're here, where we're at with the current lineup. I think every lineup we've gotten more crushing. We've dialed in the tone, not the tone, just we've dialed in what we want to be a lot better. And I don't know, this is such a great iteration of the band, in my opinion.
Mitch, one of the things I noticed on the album, I was listening to it, was your drums are crazy intense, very hard. I mean, it's like you don't miss it. I don't know how you hold up and keep doing that night after night and stuff. But it's very amazing drum work you put into. I've heard on the album so far.
Thank you. That's my job. They write great riffs. Rob has always written great. So that's my job. I gotta make it punish, and that's kind of how I look at everything in death metal is the drummer makes it work. And even if the riff is simple, just make it right,
Aside from that, Mitch is really it's kind of a joke, but it's not. But Mitch is really a great producer when it comes to songs. If I bring a riff to the table, Mitch is like, that sounds a little too much like what you did before. Mitch has a really good ear for, I think we have a ballpark of how many times we should play it, but Mitch just is really phenomenal at when we bring the riffs. Sometimes they work as they are, and then when they don't, I don't know, man. Mitch is just magical in how we actually end up piecing stuff together, and the affirmation of, yeah, that works, that doesn't work, etc.
Mitch has a knack for like song structure.
Yeah.
And timing.
Mitch didn't have the knowledge of timing that he did. I wouldn't know shit about what we're doing time-wise sometimes. Mitch is like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. And I feel bad because I'm making his job harder. But Mitch figures it out. And, I'm like, it just feels good, Mitch. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, it's my job to make it work, right? I mean, it's my job to make it better. That's what I'm doing every time. It's not about. I'm not trying. I honestly, normally, I'm not trying to make it better. I'm trying to make it work, and then it gets better because it works. Because it's hard, dude. It's hard. These guys write riffs in 9 and 11, and it's just like they don't even understand that it's in that. So
Rob and Joe make some quirky
it's great.
riffs.
It's awesome, but it's like, yeah, it's like my job. I'm just sitting there going, okay, let me cut this in half and make it make sense to me. And then all of a sudden we have like this nice riff that just kind of works.
Before you guys released, I hope I say this right. Teratogenic malformation.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Can you talk about the songwriting? I'm interested in subject matter and everything like that. I was kind of new to Wurm Flesh, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm getting used to the lyrics and what you write about and everything. It seems the absurdity of society today, what people go through a little bit. You want to talk a little bit more about the songwriting process?
Sometimes it's not. Sadly, it might be a little anticlimactic. That was one of those songs we pulled out in like an hour. Like, as anticlimactic as that sounds, we pulled it out in an hour. I just had all these riffs, they fit. Mitch did his magic on how many times we should play through things. But I think that song came from, I was sitting at home watching TV, and I was sitting on the floor with the guitar while watching TV, and then the riffs sort of came out. But yeah, when it comes to the themes of the songs, sometimes they're a little ridiculous. Like we got one that's gonna be on the new album that we're just gonna call "Dismember to Kill Faster." But I like reflecting on society a little bit. I'm kind of the one who typically comes up with the names, but it's not that no one else can. It's just I'm always thinking about words for some reason. Even when I wasn't the main vocalist, I like words. I like things that sound good, and I like big words too. And it was just, I think it was initially going to be called "The Malformation of Human Gestation." And then when we had our other bassist in the band at the time, Curtis, he just said teratogenic. And it was just basically anything a female can consume that would inhibit the formation of a child. Everything from alcohol, wine, any substance. And it kind of hit a chord with me because just, with my own mom, she was kind of a substance abuser. And I've always wondered if she was abusing while she's pregnant with either me and my brother, if she wasn't, and sometimes I think I'm as lucky as I am to be the way I am, even though I got my quirks. So I think about that stuff all the time. And I'd say that's probably a big influence from a lot of our bands that are East Coast. A lot of the bands that we're influenced by kind of have real world shit. We all grew up like in hardcore punk, and we like Dying Fetus, Suffocation, and and Misery Index, and it's like a lot of those bands speak about real world shit. Everything can't be about gutted women and snuffing people in the basement. It can't all be Cannibal Corpse stuff.
All slasher. Can't all be slasher.
Yeah.
Excoriation, evisceration. I mean, just put those together and you have a mental health issue. I mean, it's a real thing.
I guess we're like the more intelligent death metal band.
That song was actually
really
called Scab Color initially. Richard actually, so our old vocalist, Richard, he pulled that name out. Yeah. Richard actually pulled the name Excoriation, Evisceration out because that song was initially called Scab Color. And Richard's I think his wife at the time, she was trying to go to medical school, and he's like, dude, excoriation disorder is one where it's characterized like basically being a crackhead without the crack. Like you're constantly picking at your flesh and your skin, and no matter how bad it is, you don't want imperfections. It's a mental disorder. I was really shocked Richard, of all people, pulled that out. I love the dude, but words were not his forte.
So when he came up with the album concept artwork there that came out for the album?
I usually do. At the time, it was just me and Mitch. And Mitch will tell you, as long as it's not stupid, or dumb. He doesn't really care what we're calling things. He just doesn't want me to call it Boo Boo Rainbow Land, But I work with a buddy named Sean Molesko, and he lives about 3 hours of us. Try to keep art local when you can. And Sean did some like dope Alien versus Predator DC comic stuff. I mean, he's always been kind of like that fantasy thing, but I was like, let's kind of do something realistic but scary when we can. So Sean did the artwork for the album Excoriation Evisceration, and he also did the album work for Paratogenetic Malformation. And we already had the artwork for the newest album that we're calling Puppeteering Fetid Remnants.
So it's fun questions. I heard we have a couple football fans here. I see a 49ers thing. Just let you know, Mitch, we might become mortal enemies. I'm a Bengals fan. So my my football season's over with. So apparently after today. So fortunately, there is still one pro team. There's still one pro team left in Ohio. It's called the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I still got at least a chance for a winning football season somewhere, just not in Cincinnati. So longtime Bengals fan. So
definitely not going to be enemy. It's football.
You're coming to a unique metal scene in Hilo, Hawaii. We have a lot of young crowd in many cases, and then we have our diehard metal fans that have always been metal. So the scene is growing. It's amazing. The pits are different. You're going to see a lot of great pits. So tell me what you're thinking about when you're coming to Hawaii to just kind of bring the metal scene a little bit harder and greater to us.
I was in Hilo last year, actually. Actually Kona, but we took a day trip to Hilo. So I'm kind of picturing what I saw there, and sort of like I'm just like kind of trying to incorporate how Worm Flesh is gonna like look in that sort of scenic background, I guess. But I don't know. Some of the locals in Hawaii can be pretty intense, like as far as like with the tourists and whatnot, like just being like fuck you guys, and like this is our turf. So I can imagine that sort of like vibe in like the pit, or with the crowd, sort of, which is a good thing for a metal show. You want that intensity and violence, maybe. It's good for us on
Always.
stage. I'm kind of picturing that sort of vibe, maybe, but I'm also picturing like the Ohana, like welcoming vibe as well. So I think it's going to be a good mix and a good sort of crowd that we're not sort of used to probably over here in California.
It is a little
different.
different. Yeah, it is different. It's more of a Ohana type thing, quite honestly. We play hard and we get when it's time to play hard, they'll play hard. But it's as a guy who's pitted from here to Germany, it's a different, unique place to pit. It's cool, especially being an old man now. It's kind of not quite as bruising as being on the East Coast or anything like that, and getting bashed around and stuff. So, but we're really looking forward to you guys, and they do bring the energy, especially our young guys, guys and ladies. They will tear it up all night. Last year we had the Metal Bash. Last year they 2 days of it, and we kept it going for 2 straight days. So that was quite a thing to bring to the Big Island. So we're happy that you guys are coming here to help grow it. Where it is a process, but more and more people are like really catching on to what Damien is bringing out here, and what the bands are bringing out here, and really appreciate it. And it hanging out with the folks during the show, they like that. It's kind of opened up and just very relaxed out here. And
So what made you decide to say yes to the Big Island Metal Bash?
Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii. I'm down for Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
It's true. I think the excuse to go there. I don't care.
I think the stars kind of aligned for a lot of us. As we've been growing, we've been like, we've been talking amongst ourselves. I think we need to take opportunities to go out of our comfort zone. Bo kind of always goes to Hawaii, so I mean, he's used to it. I've never been outside the continental U.S., and I get a lot of people, Hawaii is the U.S. I said the continental. So I've never personally flown overseas or been outside the continental U.S. I've never been to Canada, Mexico. And I think we came to a conclusion that Damien's a homie. We met him at Mitch, did we play 10 or 11, the Las Vegas Death Fest? Was it 10?
10.
So we met Damien at Las Vegas Death Fest 10. And I saw him, and he was with his wife as well. I was like, "Are you the vocalist from Vada Remains?" And he's like, "Nah, I get that a lot." And his wife is all doing that. He is. He's all like, "No, I'm not. I promise." And I found Damien's the vocalist. I've been watching the footage of Damien with Vada Remains has been the Vada Remains live footage I've been watching since I was like 19, 20. And Damien liked our sound, and I think he asked us last year, and I think we were all just like, seemed like a scary idea with money going to Hawaii. We're all kind of broke and whatnot, and I don't know. The stars aligned, and we all said yes. And I think we all thought, maybe this is maybe this is the thing we need to do to show other promoters that, we're willing to travel overseas if you'll have us. As long as it's just not ridiculous. Like, no one just wants to lose their jobs. That's our big thing. It's like, we want to do what we want to do. Just no one wants to come home to not having their roof over their head. And this seemed like a very safe thing to do finally with all the, our situations in life, so to say. Like, no one's going to come home to being evicted. It's not hurting us too bad financially. I don't know.
And plus, we got to test the waters with Slam Dakota too, so that made it a little bit more comfortable.
And we're not like broke. Don't let Rob think we're like all poor and shit.
We're not broke, but
we're just like normal middle class people in California, which is expensive as fuck.
It's expensive, yeah.
So Hawaii's expensive as fuck too. So you guys are right there with us, if not worse, honestly.
Yeah. You guys will be in a great area downtown around the Hilo Town Market and stuff. There's a lot of good shops and restaurants and food vendors and stuff to go check out. And
I went to the farmers market there. It was amazing.
The farmers market, yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah. So we're 5-minute walk from the beach and everything. It is quite a unique venue. And, one more fun question: have you guys had a Spinal Tap moment on stage, or for a show or anything weird, wacky happened? We like to ask little fun questions
multiple
here.
Times.
Yeah.
Got a good one?
I played that little we just did Slam Dakota, and during a breakdown before like the space between a breakdown, I played that little Weezer do thing before we went into the like super colossal low slam part. Holy shit. Mitch
Rob actually changed his string on say like we were about to start playing in I think Cupertino, and Rob's string broke right before our first song, and he literally like on stage changed his string in like fucking record time, and like we
with the Floyd Rose
too. Beat pretty much. So that was a Spinal Tap sort of moment.
I feel like Mitch has had some Spinal Tap moments. He always says funny things are happening because he's behind us, so we're not looking at him. But I think Mitch says funny things happen all the time that we just don't get to see.
I mean, yeah, cymbals fall down, stuff like that, but nothing I can't fix real quick. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about the Slam Dakota one. That's probably the funniest one. Is I thought Rob was joking. Yeah, he did a and it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck off.
So we actually started. So I guess the funny joke behind this was there were these kids who were like super serious online who were using like, oh man, when they bring that slow part around, but even slower, it's so sick, it's so crushing, and I always thought that was the most gooberish thing I heard people saying, and I started like in rehearsal, be like, when they bring that riff around, but slower, and we made it slower. And then, like, we should just do that live. Kids will eat that up.
And then I threw a solo over it.
Yeah, and then Joe threw a solo over it. And it actually, what started off as just a joke and us kind of talking shit about something that we see. They're like, you know what? Kids are going to eat it up. Let's just do it. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm excited that you say you have a really young audience. It's like our peers aren't 100% impressed with what we're doing because they're on a similar level, even if it's slightly different. it's going to be these kids who are just kind of digging that are going to be like the first ones to be enamored with what we're doing. So I'm super stoked that you guys have a young population of up and coming punk and metalheads.
We were all there at some point.
Yeah. You know?
We've actually got a very good, we have a couple organizations here on the Big Island that support our youth, our young musicians. Actually, I was catching them last night. And a couple of the bands are on the bill for the Big Island Metal Bash. I hope you guys, when you're there, actually stop and check them out because they will blow you away. And they have support. We get them on them, make sure they're on all the bills, and they do their part by practicing and doing shows. And for their age, you're like, damn. So it's the metal scene and the rock and roll here on the Big Island. It's in good hands. So we're part of our thing is helping it all grow. So, and you guys get to be part of that now. So
no,
we really do. It's very important. So
it's awesome.
Socials. How can people reach out to you? How can we find your music? All that good stuff.
Just as long as you spell worm with a U and not an O, and then Flesh, it should be the easiest Google search in people's lives.
Yeah, we're on most platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, we're the only one out there. So luckily, there's no copycats. There's no Worm Flesh in Germany or overseas. There's no one else trying to do it. So like I said, as long as you spell worm, WURM, Flesh, how you should. We should be easy peasy to find everywhere.
We do appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing you guys when you make it out here. Gentlemen, we'll see you Saturday night, October 11th. Veronica, any parting words for us?
That's it. You just need to end us in our normal way with peace, love, and mosh pits.
Peace, love, and mosh pits.
Peace, love, and mosh pits.
Love and mosh pits.
Thank you guys.